So me and Dan here are reviewing some elite two-tone watches for a client, right? A client is asking us for a two-tone timepiece. He wants rose, he wants steel, and he wants a luxury fully iced. And instead of just showing the client, we want to show you guys, just in case you're in the same shopping mood, you'd know exactly what your options are. Because standing in the Diamond District and shopping for a timepiece could be quite stressful. You're spending $30,000, $50,000, $60,000, and you have to do it on the fly. You want to do your research first. So I'm glad you're watching. Dan, which one of these timepieces catches your eyes first?
Every time I look at these timepieces, a different one catches my eye first. I've been doing this for 15 years and still, they're all, every one of them has something unique and eye-catching. For example, this one, you have blue enameling on these Middle Eastern markers, right? The enameling can be changed to any color, and we can put any type of markers. You can have Roman numerals, Arabic dials, or these here. This is a two-tone AP, rose and white, beautiful piece. It sells for roughly about $69,000. It has about 25 carats of diamonds, and it does come with the box and the paperwork. One of my favorite things about this watch is the see-through open back. You have that 24K gold rotor there. Keep that movement going. It's an automatic piece.
So this is a $69,000 timepiece. The client has the option. He might not like the blue in the dial, but remember, these dials are interchangeable. You can have a blue, you can have a green, you can have whatever dial that Audemars makes, and perhaps ones that they don't make as well, aftermarket dials are possible. Now let me go on to, let's say, the next one down from this one, and this, I don't know if this one might be even higher up there. So here we have two-tone white gold and rose gold. Now Rolex doesn't officially make a two-tone white gold rose gold. This is gold on top that's been put on per the specifications of what the clients want, right? So you have 18 karat white gold and 18 karat rose gold mixed in together. What do you think of this timepiece, Dan?
I think it's a beautiful piece, flooded out, all right? Rolex presidential band. The crown there, real beautiful touch, diamonds on the side of each links.
So,
two-row bezel.
So a piece like this is about 65,000, something around there. Fully iced, that's, and if you're watching these prices now, we're not greedy over here. We'd love to give you the best price possible, but we have to make room for what might be happening in the market. So these are all great prices. And if you contact our guys, Thomas, Georgie, the contact information is in this video. These are elite people that are very trustworthy. We stand behind every transaction that can help you complete any transaction that you're looking for. But let me tell you about my personal preferences. These are, the big boys right here, okay? And, this Cartier is also up there with them. It's got, again, it's modified to have the rose on this top face. That could be removed and it could be replaced. It's not something I prefer to do, but people want the rose look with their watches. I personally am not a big fan of trends, and I wouldn't want to modify a watch to be rose and white gold. I'd want to stick with something that already is as it is. Case in point would be something like this one. So here you have these beautiful rose gold links, and then we put baguettes into them as well, right? So, and then you have these numerals. So this one is around 37,000, something around there, okay? Fully customizable, but let me show you its cousin right here. So you have the same two watches. What do you think about these two?
Personally, the plain fluted bezel really just makes the diamonds pop. A fully iced out watch is cool, but I feel like there has to be some kind of plain aspect, whether it's a plain diamond dial or a partially iced dial or a two-row bezel, one-row bezel. Something has to be plain to give it a little bit of that Rolex essential heritage.
Right, you don't want to just scream, "I have diamonds." You want to know when to stop, so to speak. Now, some people just want to go crazy, fully iced. You have a fully iced all the way right here. All these watches are in the same size. Then you have the Jubilee band over here. You got this baguette band on the oyster. On the oyster over here. You got a lot of different options. But my personal preference is I like a diamond bezel. I like the way this diamond bezel is made. It's nice and bulky and high up. I'd put it on this watch and I'd put a plain Jane chocolate dial. If you're doing rose gold, I prefer a chocolate dial. That's what this is right here. And the Jubilee band is also popping. So, you know, what about you, Dan? The Oyster band, Jubilee band?
I love the Jubilee bands, very new. Is it a new style buckle? They're reliable bands. They fit very well, easy to size. And sometimes my significant other likes to wear my watches, and the Oyster band is just a little too big, whereas the Jubilee, she puts it right on and she's going.
That's what's up. So now we have a little bit of a puzzle for you guys. So we have these two timepieces right here, right? And they're obviously the same timepiece, one with a bezel, one without. So what we want to show you here is another option that you have. This is a bezel. I think it's a little bit too small, right? You'd want a bulkier bezel on here, and then if you wanted that, you'd be able to make that happen with a big boy bezel like this one. The choices are really entirely up to you. So the price difference on a watch like this, let's say this is around, it's got 22.19 carats as is. And now you're looking at about 34,000. You could also, you probably go up $1,000 or so and you'd be able to upgrade to a bezel like this. $2,000, something around there, and then you'd be able to get a larger bezel if that's what you wanted. You want a subtle look, so you know exactly what's going on. Then we also have the 36. Let's throw a price for this one right here. This is a 36 millimeter, the more old school style. It's unisex, guys and girls can wear it. So this one has about 15 carats. You're seeing the size difference. Around 25,000. Again, any one of these timepieces, you could reach out to us or through Thomas and Georgie, and some of our other staff will definitely help you out.
Check out the TraxNYC review page. We have a lot of really good information on there, educating our consumers. Very important to know, all of these Rolex watches are modifiable. The bezel, 1 row, 2 row, flower setting, U-shape, prong setting, channel setting, any different color dial, whether it's a factory dial or an aftermarket dial, Pave, prong setting. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And most of the time, one really important thing to note, a lot of times the guy wearing the bust down watch, that's not his only piece. He has a plain Jane, he has a bust down, he has something for the sport, something on the rubber band. Diversify your collection. Don't just stick with iced out watches. Have something plain Jane for the classy look.
So let me tell you my final recommend, right? Out of all these watches, now that we're playing with them and looking at them, I like this one. Roman numerals, chocolate dial, Jubilee band. It's a classic timepiece right here. The only thing that I don't like on it is the bezel. What type of bezel would I put on here? Well, it wouldn't be this one. This one's way too small, right? We want to show you stuff, not just what you want to see. We want to show you what you want to avoid, right? But this is an easy problem to solve. You could take this bezel off, and you could pop on this bezel right here. This bezel is the right size. You could do the 1 row, which is cool, but I like a 2 row bezel such as this. Or you just put a plain Jane fluted on here. I think that would be dope. So if I was in a moderate price range, not sky's the limit, and I wanted my bust down Rolly watch, I'd probably go with something like this with the chocolate face. You'd save some money. There's no diamonds on the side on this one like they are on this one. That's a great way to save money. Not a lot of people notice that. And you know, that's pretty much what it would be for me, unless I was going for an Audemars and I was breaking the bank and doing all that.
And very important to note, very affordable Rolexes. We also have in stock a lot of different styles, all right? You have a channel set bezel, like prong bezel, this is a U-shape. Roughly, these will be in the $7,000 to $8,000, $9,000 range, depending on the condition and the quality. These are spoken for. This one goes for about $9,500. $8,500, depending on when you guys see this price. The prices of the Rolex watches are constantly fluctuating, and I'll tell you why. The reason is because we put a very small margin on our watches, okay, whereas other sellers, they put a huge margin. So when we're advertising this watch today, for example, at $50,000, and the demand for the Rolex watch goes up by, let's say, $5,000, our cost for the watch has risen by $5,000, which is a huge amount when you're dealing on a $50,000 timepiece. So keep in mind, TraxNYC is always going to have the best price. We're always going to be competitive, but don't hold us on a video from 2 years ago. Hey, we said it's this, it's no longer that.
If the price went up, it's honestly, that's just what happens. That's why these timepieces are valuable. And the when Danny says U-shaped bezel, he's talking about the way these stones are set with this U in here, okay, or a channel bezel. Sometimes we go over this stuff, and we've been doing this for so long, you know, it goes over some people's heads. We want to show you exactly what we're talking about. Prong set, this bezel, fluted, here, there. There's a lot to know to get the watch. And the point of knowing it is to get the timepiece you want that's going to do right by you, the way you want to look, the way you want to feel, the way you want your money to appreciate over time. Because sometimes some of these timepieces, there's a reason why we spend $30,000, $40,000 to keeping time. Time is the essence of our lives. With time gone, you'll never see this watch tick backwards. That's pretty much what I'm saying. And these pieces, with the way the markets are now, always hold their value or go up in value, aftermarket or not aftermarket, if you get them done right. You get the right desirable timepiece, you're gonna get your money out of it over time. Because we are paying for prices for some of these watches that are more than what we used to sell them for. That's because we charge fair prices and things like that. So if you want to get your hands on one of these pieces or anything else that we have to offer, and you want to deal with reliable people, hit up Georgie, hit up Thomas. Their personal information is right in there. They're going to sort out. The only reason why we can't accept phone calls ourselves is because we're going to get you know, the 16-year-old kid who's dreaming of a Rolex, asking questions for 2 hours, or someone else that we don't have the time to deal with. Our staff is going to be able to sort everything out, and we work as a team to complete your transaction. When you're dealing with Georgie, when you're dealing with Thomas, you're dealing with the whole Trax team, and we do not play around. We want to get you what you want, so that a year from now, when you look at your watch, you say, wow, these guys did me right, and I love it. So that's what we do here at TraxNYC. This is for individual client for the rose gold and two-tone look and timepieces. He has now the best options to pick what he wants based on the information we provided, and we're glad to do it for him and for you as well.